Welcome to Queens Talk, where we Queens, we talk. I thank you so much for joining us today. I have a special guest. I'm so excited about our guest, Cheryl Horn. She is a mitigation and client relations specialist for the Fresh Start Expungement Clinic of the law office of the Hamilton County Public Defender. Thank you so much for joining us. How are
Thank you
you?
for having me. Thank you.
Can you tell us, our viewers, a little about what you do and in your occupation?
My occupation is with the law office of the Hamilton County Public
Absolutely.
Defender's Office. I am the mitigation client relations specialist. I also do the public relations for the Public Defender's Office. My job entails, we represent a lot of the clients that are income eligible, which would be considered an indigent client, where they can afford to pay for an attorney out of pocket. Our office represents hundreds of clients. My job as mitigation specialist is when a client has a problem with their bonds, or they've been sentenced to maybe 180 days in jail, maybe their jail time credit is not correct. The attorneys will contact me, say, Ms. Horn, can you help me? I think there's something wrong with my client's information. Maybe it may be something wrong with their bond. I handle all of the mitigation and client relations. Or say a inmate has a death in the family or a medical emergency with a family member. I will go see a judge to possibly go to have them attend a funeral. Again, if there's a hospital relations, there may be something where I go see the judge to see if the person can have a hospital visit with a family member. It must be immediate family. With the Fresh Start program, is why I'm here,
Okay.
is regarding expungement. A lot of people have a problem getting employment, housing, education now, and they have something on their record. A lot of people think that because you have something on your record and because it gets dismissed, that it does not show up to an employer or housing or for education, and it does.
Absolutely.
If you were to pull up your name on the clerk's website, the clerk of court's website, everything that you've ever been charged with will show, even if it's been dismissed, even if it's been ignored, and I'll explain some of that terminology. Our office, the Hamilton County Public Defender's Office, started this program a little bit over 3 years ago
Okay.
because there have been changes to the law. In 2012, there was a Senate Bill 337 that came out that made expungement a little more easier for individuals. Prior to the Senate Bill 337, if you had something on your record, you could only have one conviction per lifetime. Now, that does not mean that every conviction would still be eligible for expungement,
Right.
but you could not have more than one conviction.
Okay.
When Senate Bill 337 came about, it changed the rules some, meaning now if you have one felony, long as it's not a felony one, which means aggravated robbery, murder, rape,
Right.
you cannot have that expunged. And some drug charges, which are felony ones.
Okay.
Felony twos, another statute, you cannot have those expunged. Again, that falls under to robberies and more serious offenses. Most acts of violence cannot be expunged. When you get down into felony threes, fours, and fives, where these are some of the items that can be expunged. Again, there are some items that cannot be expunged. That would be like a DUI, domestic violence, child endangerment,
Oh.
aggravated assault, menacing.
Yeah.
Any traffic offenses are non-expungible unless they have been dismissed by the court. So this process is a very serious process because a lot of people don't understand, even though if a charge is dismissed, meaning you go to court, maybe the prosecuting witness does not show up, and it gets dismissed by the judge, you can file for expungement. Now, expungement is a discretionary. It doesn't mean it's automatically granted. Once you come to our office, which we do this every first and third Wednesday of the month, we have you pay $5 to the sheriff's department, which is to get a copy of your background check.
Okay.
Once you have that done, you come to our office at 125 East Court Street, the 9th floor. You bring your police check. We have attorneys there that'll pull up your information and we go through your whole record. And everything that you're eligible for, we file for expungement for you
Okay.
once you qualify. So we'll have you meet with a qualifier to see if you're income eligible. And it's based on federal guidelines. So there's poverty guidelines that you must meet, and it's usually 125% of the poverty level. Once we do that, and we have you approved for that, as far as income guidelines, then you meet with us and we go through your whole record, and everything that's on your record would be eligible for us that we would file for. Once that is done, it takes about 2 weeks to get a court date. Once we get that, your court date is usually about 6 weeks out. What happens during the course of that 6-week period of time, the prosecutor and probation runs a background check on you nationwide.
Okay.
So we always ask, have you had a conviction anywhere else?
Absolutely.
Most of the time the people say no, and sometimes people forget. So say you have a charge in Springdale,
Yeah.
which may not show in Hamilton County. Even though it's under Hamilton County,
Oh.
it's Mayor's Court.
Yeah.
You have a lot, you have Laughlin, you have Reading, you have Blue Ash, you have Gulf Manor, you have Springfield Township, you have Coleraine Township. So you have all of the other entities that have their own court system and you go to Mayor's Court, and we may not see that conviction.
Okay.
But once the prosecutor or probation runs that background check, then you would not maybe have that expunged because that's another conviction. So let's talk about what can you have.
Okay.
1 felony plus 1 misdemeanor, meaning it cannot be a felony 1 or a felony 2.
Okay.
It could be a felony 3.
Okay.
A lot of times drug charges are felony 3s, felony 4s, felony 5s.
Okay.
But a drug offense could be a felony 1 and a felony 2, which would not be expunged.
Is that depending on the type of drug, or as far as
Quantity.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Quantity.
Yeah.
Okay, because a person could have 1 gram of marijuana, or not marijuana, let's say 1 gram of cocaine,
Yeah.
and that could be a felony 5.
Okay.
But if he has 25 grams or more, that could be a felony 1 or felony 2,
Okay.
which would make that a non-expungable offense. So if you have 1 felony, so let's just use a felony 5 drug trafficking. Felony 5 trafficking in heroin. We'll just use that as an example. That carries anywhere from 6 months to 12 months. Now, you could file for expungement for that. But let's say you got that felony 5 in 1999. We'll use that. And then you picked up another felony in 2005. That's more than 1 felony conviction.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So you would not be eligible for expungement in that.
Okay.
So let's say go back, you're entitled for 1 felony plus 1 misdemeanor. You got a felony 5, trafficking. You have a misdemeanor theft. Both of those would be eligible for expungement. So let's say you got a felony and 2 misdemeanors. So say you had a misdemeanor in 2003
Okay.
and a misdemeanor in 2012. That's 2 separate convictions of a misdemeanor. You could not have anything expunged if you have a conviction of those 3.
Okay.
Because it's 1 felony plus 1 misdemeanor. Now also, you could, if you have no felonies and you have 2 misdemeanors, and if they fail, say a theft and say obstruction of official business, you could have those both expunged. Now in 2006, well, let me go back before I go there. Minor misdemeanors. A minor misdemeanor could be public gaming, meaning a person might have been throwing dice or something.
Yeah.
Public gaming, loitering, an open flask.
Gamble. Yeah.
Okay, those are minor misdemeanors. Marijuana ticket. All of those, no matter how many you have of those, are eligible for expungement.
Wow.
So from 2006 to 2010, the city of Cincinnati had an ordinance for marijuana. If you got stopped and you got caught with a marijuana joint or less than 100 grams of marijuana, you faced a misdemeanor 4, which carried 30 days in jail. So let's say Mitchell Avenue. One side of Mitchell Avenue is the city of Cincinnati. The other side of Mitchell Avenue is St. Bernard. According to what side of the street you got stopped on, determine if you went to jail or if you got a ticket.
Wow.
Because in St. Bernard, it was a minor misdemeanor. So from 2006 to 2010, the city of Cincinnati made it a misdemeanor 4.
Wow.
In the last couple of years, the ordinance was changed. Anyone that picked up a marijuana ticket from 2006 to 2010, that would now be considered for expungement purposes.
Okay.
So they could file for expungement on that. This law is constantly changing. You have legislation that is changing because there's so many people that have something on their record. And it's a lot of employers that wants to give a person a second chance. And a lot of people think, well, I got something on my record, I give up, I can never get anything done. This is priceless. It is priceless. We see so many people come through our office, and once we say, yes, you can file for this for expungement, a lot of people get tears in their eyes for that because they feel so grateful for that. It's a great thing. Our director, Raymond Fowler, our appellate director, Christine Jones, they have worked hard for us to be able to have this program and to try to make it a success for the community.
Okay.
And it's really, really important. Again, we do this every first and third Wednesday of the month. Our next one is September 6th.
Okay.
And it's from 1 to 4 p.m. The only requirement is go to the sheriff's department, pay $5, get a copy of your background check. Bring that to our office at 125 East Court Street on the 9th floor. And that's where the Dunkin' Donuts is on Court Street. And most people know where the License Bureau is on Court Street. It's directly across the street. Come to the 9th floor.
Okay.
And we go through this. And we take this very seriously. Because if you go and apply for a job, and that human resource persons interview you, and they really like your personality.
Absolutely.
And they run your background. Now here you have something on your record that was dismissed. That person doesn't know you. You don't really forget about it because it was dismissed.
They still see it.
Correct.
Though, right?
They still see it.
Yeah.
Even though it was dismissed.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, I wasn't convicted. And that person may not give you that job because of.
That's right.
And it's really, really, really important. I brought some information, just a little bit. Had a person that had 51 arrests.
Wow.
51.
Okay.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
By the time we got finished and went through their whole record, they ended up with only 13 convictions.
Was this person a convicted felon as far as the 51
It was
arrests?
felonies.
It's felonies.
Some of the felonies were
felony
ignored.
1 and 2. Okay.
They were ignored.
Okay.
Meaning, you were charged with a felony. And let's just use this as an example. Felonious assault.
Absolutely.
And you're charged with this felony. The alleged victim doesn't show up to grand jury, which means they would get a subpoena to come to grand jury to testify.
Okay.
That person may not show up. Then it's ignored by the grand jury, meaning they didn't have enough evidence to maybe possibly get an indictment. So now that case is ignored. Once that's ignored, after 2 years, you can file for expungement on that. For felonies, felonies are like this. You have to wait 3 years from the point of conviction and the disposition of your case. Meaning, once you terminate probation, it is 3 years from that point. So if you were placed on probation in 2012, and you got a 3-year sentence of probation, that's 2015.
Right.
by the time you terminate probation.
Absolutely.
You have to wait 3 years from that point to file for expungement,
Oh, wow.
which makes it 2018.
Yeah.
A misdemeanor is 1 year.
Okay.
It's 1 year. So if you got 2012, you got placed on probation. 2013, you terminate probation. 2014, you can file for expungement.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Dismissals are immediate. You can file for expungement immediately.
Wow.
All right. And it's really, really important. A DUI is non-expungible. Child endangerment, domestic violence, unless it's a misdemeanor for a threat, that you could file for expungement
Okay.
for domestic violence. Again, the laws are constantly changing. And I'm thankful that you asked me to come on your show because we never get this information. We hear sometimes, we hear a little twerk, well, oh yeah, we could get something done. And you really don't know the information.
Absolutely.
And I'm thankful that you invited
Oh,
me
thank you so much.
so I can try to share it with the community.
Yeah.
And again, everything is not expungible. So if you come to us and you got 5 felonies and you think you can get them all expunged, the answer is no. If they all happen in different years, the answer is no. But if you have a 10-count indictment, let's just use this. You get a
Okay.
felony, you got a 10-count indictment. So you might have aggravated trafficking, which they could have made it a felony 4. A trafficking, felony 5. Another trafficking, another felony 5.
Yeah.
An obstruction, they may have thrown that in there. You could have a receiving stolen property.
Okay.
So you might go all the way up to a 10-count indictment. This is your only felony. All 10 of those. So say you get convicted of 3 out of the 10. It still count as one offense, which would be eligible for expungement. So a lot of people don't understand that. So they're thinking, well, what happened?
Yeah.
Another thing is, say you got a theft.
Okay.
A lot of people commit thefts because of drug problems. So they might have stole on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They've been stealing all week long. When you go to court, you usually get it all done on one day. Get the
Okay.
disposition, you either
Yeah,
found guilty,
absolutely.
you plead out to
That's
some.
right.
It's all on one
Till
day.
weekend, yeah.
All of those could count as one
Yeah.
conviction and could be eligible for expungement. So it's a lot that we go through. We look at everything. We have the attorneys, they look at it. They'll tell you right when you first come into our office, yes, we can do this. No, we cannot. Yes, you have something in another village or township, another entity. We look at everything. And a lot of times, once we take care of the paperwork that we can do for Hamilton County, we'll tell you, well, you need to go to Springdale, or you need to go to Sharonville to file for expungement on the cases that you have there.
Well, what if the same the same rules don't apply for this the different jurisdictions? Like if you're granting them all these admissions, and if they have a record in a certain county, different county, how did that apply? Yeah.
If you have a record in a different county, again, we won't know it because we always ask, have you had any other charges in any other county? If you tell us no, we only can go by that. Once you go to court, because the prosecutor or probation is going to run your background
Yeah.
check nationwide,
Yeah.
if they get a hit on it, they will ask for that to be not eligible for expungement. So again, like you're trying to say with like Springdale or Sharonville,
Yeah.
a lot of times it could be maybe a minor misdemeanor.
Okay.
And we'll say, go out there and file for this. Or say all your charges are in Hamilton County, you may have only had one conviction, everything else was dismissed. So you only have one here, if it's a misdemeanor,
Yeah.
and one there,
Yeah.
you would be eligible because it's 2 misdemeanors.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter on the minor misdemeanors, you can have 1,000,
wow.
they would all be eligible.
Wow. Well, that's great to hear that we convicted felons has a chance and a hope for better days. You know, there is a chance, there is a hope, and there is a program where convicted felons can get help.
And
So,
it's not just for convicted felons, it's for anyone that has had a problem with a record.
with the record. Yeah.
So it's not just for them, it's for anyone that has ever been arrested, ever had a charge, even if it had got dismissed, ignored. Please file for expungement to have that removed from your record. Because, again, if you pull it up, if you go and apply for an apartment, what they're going to do is maybe look on the clerk's website and see if you ever been arrested. And first thing they're going to say is, we're going to deny your application. Even though you were not convicted. They don't know the terms. You know, they see an ignored. They don't know what an ignored means. They should know what a dismissal means. That means that you weren't convicted. But you have an assault charge. You get it dismissed. But as they look at your record, they're thinking, they don't know you. You got an assault. So what kind of person they think you are? Violent.
Absolutely.
So if you file for expungement, they don't get to see that. Now, if you get some parts of your record expunged, there are certain employers that you cannot work for that can still look at your record. That is working with children, working at a hospital, working in law enforcement, working with the elderly, and working in finance. So they can still, when they run your background check, a lot of the places do a fingerprint check on you. So law enforcement, working at a hospital, working in finance, working with children or elderly, working at a daycare, working at a nursing home, they'll usually do a fingerprint check on you.
Okay.
They run that through BCI, that's the Bureau of Criminal Investigation. They have certain codes that they must report that back to that employer. So say you had a theft. The hospital or nursing home could deny you for that. It's still that employer's option to hire you from that point. And it's some people get a little disappointed because like, well, what's the purpose?
Absolutely.
The purpose is to clear that up. Because you have to look at it like this. Maybe that's not the employer you need to be working for. Because all no's don't mean no.
That's right. That's right.
So we have to not keep ourselves in such a box. Because as long as you stay in the box, you never come off the shelf. So we have to look at it. Stop looking back. You made a mistake. That don't mean your life is over.
Absolutely.
Because every time you look back, what happens? You trip and fall.
Absolutely.
So if you have to keep moving forward, yes, that place may said no. The next one may not. You know, it's only so much that's put on us. I don't like to get religious because I'm not here for that.
Listen.
But
It's all right.
God puts us in places for a reason.
Absolutely.
And yes, we try very hard. We wake up in the morning and we wonder, what is this day going to be like? We make our day. God give us breath to put our feet on the floor, to stand up. We make our day. I am thankful to be here again with you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
And it's important that we understand what's available for us. And again, our office works very hard. The director, Raymond Fowler, he's done a great job coming on, taking over and trying to make sure that our office represent our clients zealously.
Absolutely.
And he really, really works hard to try to make sure that our office.
And what is his name?
Raymond Fowler. He's
Raymond
the director of the
Fowler.
Public Defender's Office.
Absolutely.
And our appellate division, Christine Jones.
Okay.
And she works with the Fresh Start program, initiated it, trying to make sure that it works, good for our community.
Absolutely.
And then we have all our different directors. We have Rodney Harris, who is our felony director, which is over our felony department. We have Tom Rolfes, who's over our municipal department. We have Kathy Ancona, who's over our juvenile department. We have Kim Helfrich, who's over our guardian ad litem division, which is our GAL division.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of times people don't understand that the public defender's office do much more
For the people.
for the community.
Yeah.
A lot of people just think, oh, they're in room A in the Justice Center just for criminal defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
We represent juveniles. We expunge juvenile records also. Some people not aware that we have juvenile records.
Okay.
So we really try to do a great job. And again, thank you for allowing me to come on
Thank you so much.
and explain what our office does.
Okay. And where can you tell the viewers where the office is located and where can we reach you?
Again, I'm with the Helena County Public Defender's Office. My name is Cheryl Horn. My direct number is 946. Well, let me change that. 513-946-3854. Our office number is 946-3800, which is the Public Defender's Office. We're at 230 East 9th Street. That is our main office,
Okay.
second floor. Then our expungement, when we have Fresh Start, is at 125 East Court Street, 9th floor. And again, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And I hope, community, I hope this is for you. I hope we can share this information because it's valuable.
Absolutely.
And again, it may not affect everyone, but if we can just save one person, that's 1,000.
That's right. We said
That's
the whole
1,000.
community.
All right.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Oh my goodness, Cheryl Horn, mitigation and specialist for the Law Office of Hamilton County Justice, Public Defender.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Until we meet again. Thank you so much for joining us on Queen's Talk. I'm your host, Empress T. Until we meet again, God bless. All right, and also, can we? How do we get in touch with you personally, as far as?
513-946-3854.
Okay, all right, and that's the first and third Wednesdays of every month for the program.
Correct. And then the next expungement clinic is September 6th,
September 6th.
between hours of 1 and 4 p.m.
Okay, and these folks, can they just, is it a walk-in or
It's a
do they
walk-in.
have an
It's a
appointment?
walk-in. They don't need an appointment.
Absolutely. Great. All right. Until then, we'll see you next time. God bless.